Hello everyone, this is Jim. This is going to be the lecture video for lecture number 5. So, yeah, we're going to be adding a few more features under our belt as well as delving more into creating references plane. So the features we're going to be covering today are going to be the loft feature, the shell feature, as well as design tables, as well as we're going to be looking at how to create reference axes, as well as being able to rotate a reference plane, offsetting it, basically offsetting a plane relative to an angle, as well as creating planes that are out in space. So let's go ahead and let's just jump right into SolidWorks. Let's go ahead and open up SolidWorks, and let's just run through some of our new features that we're going to be learning today. So let's start with the loft. Okay, go to new document, new part. So basically what a loft is it's kind of like an extrude between two different contours of different shape and sizes. So let's take a look at how to make one. So let's create a sketch. Let's select this top plane and let's create a circle right here. And we'll give it some diameter. We'll give it 5. And we'll extrude it. We'll extrude it 5 as well. Okay. Let's create another sketch. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm going ahead of myself. Let's not extrude it. Let's exit the sketch. So I'm going to go over to features. I'm going to create a reference plane now. And I'm going to make it off of the top plane. And I'm going to offset it from the top plane. Let's make it 5 inches as well. We're going to go into sketch. Select this top plane right here with normal 2. I'm going to create a square shape. Okay, and I'm going to give this some dimension. I'll give this 5 as well, and I'll give this one 5 as well. Okay, so I'm going to jump out of this sketch. Now I want to create material between these two contours. So I go up to features. I can click on lofted boss base. And I'm going to select my two profiles. I'm going to select this profile and I'm going to select this profile as well. And there you have it. It'll create a shape in between those two contours. And I'll go ahead and hit the check mark, and there you have it. Now, when you're doing a lofted extrude, there's something that's really important to pay attention to. So let's go back into edit features. I'm going to go normal. So if you look right here, you've got these 2 points. So these points are where the points in which the revolve which the loft is created. So basically, the way a loft is created is that it's going to start at a point and it's going to go around in a circle, filling in the material. So you want to keep these 2 points lined up, starting at the same angle. So let's just take a look at what happens when I start this point somewhere else. Let's start it right there. If you look, it's creating it's twisting the material because it's basically drawing a line from here to here, and it's going all the way around the contour to add the material. So you want to make sure that these two start lined up to each other relative to an angle. So let's put that right back to where it started, where I started it with. Now it's all nice again. A little bit offward. There we go. So that's a little bit of the loft feature. This is a valuable tool, especially when you're creating parts with some interesting geometry. We'll go more into loft in later lectures when we start getting into more of the freeform modeling. But creating lofts between two different profiles is what you typically do most of the time. Now I want to take you into the shell feature. So what a shell feature does is it basically removes all the material within a part. So let's take a look at that. Let's go to shell. If you look here, this is the parameter. This is going to be controlling the thickness of our walls. And right here is where I select the faces to remove. So I'm going to just select this face right here. Click on show preview. So it's going to remove this face, and it's going to remove all this material in here, leaving just a thin wall on the outside. So let's go ahead and hit the check mark. Let's see what happens. So I removed this top face, and I removed all the material within this part. So I can go right back in here, and I can do the same thing with the other side as well. Just like that, and I removed that face as well as all the material within it. I can also get it to shell all the way through and remove both faces as well. So I keep that one face selected, and I select this top one, and there we go. So the shell tool is very useful, especially when you got, complicated geometry such as this, but you want it to be a thin-walled feature. All right, so those are the loft and shell features. Those are both very valuable and handy tools to have. Now I want to go into creating design tables. So what a design table is it allows you to adjust parameters to create multiple parts based from the same contours. So what do I mean by that? So let's just go ahead and let's create a part, for example. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to create a rectangle somewhere out in space. And I'll give it some dimensions. I'll give it 5, and I'll give this 6. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to extrude it 7. Alright, so say I want to create this rectangular box many times over, but I don't want to keep creating multiple parts. I just want to adjust the dimensions. So I can go up to here to insert tables, design table, and I'll select auto create, and I'll select OK. So right here it brings up all the dimensions I have in my part. So I've got the dimensions from my sketch. So this would be my length and my width, and this is the dimensions of my extrude. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select them all. What it then does is it populates this Excel page right here where I can go ahead and I can adjust these parameters. So I can create multiple different versions of this. So I'm going to create A, B, and C. So for A, I'm going to give this 6, 8, and 10. For B, I'm going to go 7, 10, and 13. And C, I'm going to go 8, 12, 15. Now I'm going to go implement that. I can click anywhere out here in space, and it'll generate multiple configurations. So how do I get to my other configurations? I come right up to here. It's like configuration manager. And right here you'll see all of my different configurations for my design table. So I can go ahead and double click on A, and it'll create A. Double click on B, it'll create B, and so on and so forth. So a design table can be a very useful tool to have, especially when you're creating multiple versions of a part. This is very common where you've got a tool that follows the same contour, but it'll be larger for certain applications, it'll be smaller for certain applications. So instead of having to constantly create the same part, you can just create a design table and create them all at once. So now I want to continue our lessons on reference planes, as well as including reference axes. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and let's create a shape. I'm going to start from scratch. So I'm going to delete that. Sketch. Select this top plane. I'm going to create a circle. I'll give it some dimension. I'll give it 4. Extrude boss base. I'll give this 4 as well. Okay, sketch. I'll select this top surface right here, and I'm going to create a square shape right here. I'll give this 4 as well, and I'll give this 4. And I'm going to go ahead and extrude that as well. Okay, so how do I create a reference axis? And what is a reference axis really good for? So it's very good for creating lines of revolution. That could be good for if you're doing like a revolved cut or a revolved um, a revolved boss base, and it doesn't make much sense to actually create the reference line within the sketch itself. So let me just go through some examples as to you probably follow what I'm saying. So I got multiple selections I can select. So I can select one edge, one line, edge, or axis. So if I select this edge right here, I'll be able to create a reference axis. I could also create an axis between that's intersects two planes. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to turn on my primary axes. Say I wanted to create an axis that intersects the right and the front plane. So I put on the two planes. I can select this plane, this plane. Oops, I think I selected the wrong face. And there we go. I'll have an axis that will intersect these two planes. Now, creating axes that aren't really in line with either of these planes can be very well done between the 2 points vertices. So I can just select this line and say I want to create a reference axis that goes from here down to here. I can do that by clicking that point, then clicking this point, and there we go. There you have it. We've got a reference axis right there. I'm going to keep that one for now. And let's go over. I can also create an axis based upon a cylindrical surface as well. So I can select this surface right here, and I can create an axis. So that's a little intro into how to create a reference axis. So now I want to continue going over creating planes, because we've gone over so far how to create planes that are normal to surfaces as well as tangent to surfaces. So let's just go over what we already know so far. So if I were to select this flat surface, I can go ahead and I can create a plane right off of that, and I can offset it as far as I want. Where is it? Oh, it's down there. So flip, offset, and there we go. And I can offset it off of that plane right there. I've also know how to go mid plane. So if I select mid plane, I got to give it another reference. So if it's asking for, I got one reference, but it's asking for another one. So I can click on this surface right here, and now I got my mid plane. I got a fully defined plane. I've also gone over how to create tangents, tangent planes. So if I select this surface right here, it's asking me for another. It's asking me for another one. So let's see. I got to give it another reference to lock it in. So maybe can I select this one? No, I can't. Maybe if I go not parallel, coincident maybe no. So let's try another one. Let's try that one. That one. So if I click that one and make it perpendicular, it fully constrains itself. I could probably do that with this plane as well. Just use perpendicular. Yeah, I can. So what is it doing? It's making sure that this plane is perpendicular to this plane and remaining tangent to this one. So what I did before in the previous lecture is I would create a line that comes out to an edge, and I use the coincident relation right here. So that made it coincident with the point at the end of the line, as well as tangent to this surface. So I think we have a good understanding of how to create planes that are on a surface. But let's say I want to create a plane that isn't on a surface, but I want to maybe revolve it about a certain axis or a point of revolution to try to create some more complicated geometry. So let's just say, for example, I wanted to drill a hole that is through one of these vertices, one of these edges here. So how can I go about doing that? So if I go down here to reference this plane, I'm gonna select this edge right here, and that can act as my point of my axis of revolution. So now I gotta select the surface now. So the surface is gonna be what it's gonna be referenced to. So if I select that, yeah, that's what I can do. And now I can rotate it and set it to how I want it to be. Say I want it to be at a 45-degree angle relative to that surface right there. I go to 45 degrees. There you have it. I've got a plane that's on a 45-degree angle relative to that. Let's see here. What else do I got? Let's see. What's project do? No, project doesn't do anything. Long sketch normal. Nah, I don't want that. So I want to keep it coincident. So now I can go ahead and I can create that plane, and I'd be able to create a circle right on this plane. Let's go normal to that plane. I can create an extrusion. Just like that. So let's go over what we had to do to create that plane. So I had to give it an axis of revolution. So I could have made an axis itself, but this edge served me well just fine. And I also have to give it a reference surface to which to measure the angle right here. So let's take a look at some other things we could have done. So say I wanted to create a plane on this axis that I made. So I select that axis. I need to give it some more information. So let's click at this. Let's see what happens here. So it defaulted to it's coincident with the axis, but it's going to be perpendicular to this surface right here. So let's parallel doesn't work. Coincident doesn't work. Just perpendicular works. Let's see. I can also give it a reference angle relative to this surface as well. Let's take it all the way up to 90 and see if it goes flat. So 90, yep, 90 degrees. It'll be perpendicular to the surface right here. So I can do a lot. I can do a lot with planes to create planes on different that are offset from multiple surfaces. So I can do a lot here. So that's a good introduction to how to create planes that are offset angularly from different surfaces. But let's say I wanted to create a plane that's somewhere out in space somewhere. What would be a good way to do that? So say I wanted to create a feature that was, say, an extrusion that goes from here down to this surface right here. So there's a good simple way I could do that. So I can go ahead and I can create a sketch to use as a reference. So let's go ahead and create a center line, and let's just draw it out into space like so. We'll go smart dimension. We'll give this an angle of 40. Okay. Now we're going to go back in to our reference planes. Let's click on plane. Now I want to create this plane on this point right here. So I select this point and see what happens. So I need to give it some more information. So it's going to be coincident with that point. But what else do I need? So I can click this line. I can make it perpendicular now. So now this plane is going to be facing down this line, and I can create whatever extruded feature that I want. So I'll go ahead and I'll hit OK. Go sketch on this plane. Let's go normal to. Let's see, did I grab the? Yeah, I did. Features, extrude. go up to surface, and let's go ahead and reverse it and go up to here. Oops, I think it's because it's also up to a different surface, up to body. So let's try that. Let's try up to here. That probably works better. Yeah, there we go. So I could do a lot with planes. You can mess around with them to see to get what you want. But that's a good introduction to the different kinds of things we could do with planes. So now I got a couple of different examples that I want to go over with you. Some of them that are a bit more complicated than we've done so far. So let's start with this one. It's a spray head. So it looks like I can go about creating this with a revolve boss base, and then maybe create a tangent plane to the surface to drill these holes in. So let's go ahead and just dive right into this one. So let's go ahead and create a new part file. Okay, I'm gonna go to Sketch. I'm gonna select the front plane here, and I want to go ahead and create a center line. I think that'll be useful for this problem. Excuse me. And I'm going to go and just sketch the contour of this. So there, 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 and there. So I'm going to go ahead and add the dimensions in now. So I got 2.05 here. Okay. And it looks like I've got 0.575 here. And looks like I've got a 45-degree angle here. Okay. Let's see, what else do I need? I need this diameter here. So that diameter here looks to be 1.5. Okay. Let's see, what else do I need here? I need to get this right here. That's what I need. And this point right here. So this is going to be 2.25, this diameter. Now I don't have this dimension here, and I don't see it called out on the drawing anywhere. So let's take a look at the drawing. So I don't have that, but let's see, what am I missing? No, I think I do have that one. No, I don't. So it looks like this is about 1.5 as well. So I'm gonna go with 1.5. So okay, everything goes black. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll close off my contour. And there we go. So I'm going to click the features, revolve boss base. I'll create my revolve. Okay, now I want to go ahead and I want to create that cutout in the center. So I'm going to sketch. I'm going to select this front plane again. Normal to. I'm going to create a center line all the way through the part. And I'm going to go up, create an arc, okay. Now I want to go ahead and add in the dimensions, so I want 1.925 here. This is going to be radius 0.5, and I want to make it tangent to this. There we have it. Okay, and then I've got diameter 1. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and do a revolve boss. Features, Okay. Oops, I think I did it wrong. Let's go back into edit feature. Okay, selections. I want that line. What am I forgetting? I think I'm forgetting. Edit sketch. Is it not closed off? What am I? What don't I have? What am I missing here? Why is it not revolving? Oh, maybe if I went for revolve cut, that might probably do it. That's why. There we go. There's our cutout. So now I got these holes on the top here. So let's go ahead, and there's 8 of them, and they're all 45 degrees apart. So let's go ahead and let's create a tangent plane. So we'll select this plane right here, and let's look at what we got here. So we got front plane. We could probably use the front plane, and we can probably use our right plane as well. Let's select the right plane. So we want tangent to this face and perpendicular to the right plane. So we'll go ahead and use that. And we're gonna go create a new sketch on that plane. So it's not really well defined where these holes are, but I'm gonna guess that they're probably midway between this and this right here. So to create that, I'm gonna go ahead and create a center line right down the middle, and I'm gonna create a circle here, and I'm gonna make it coincident with the midpoint of this line. There we go. And the holes are all 0.2 in diameter. Okay, I'll go features, extruded cut. Now let's look at what I can do here. So I can do a couple different things. I can go to up to next, where it'll cut all the way up to it reaches this surface right here. I also have the option to up to surface, and I think that's probably about it. What I could use. If I went for through all, it's gonna just keep on going all the way through everything it sees in front of it. So I'm gonna leave it at up till next. That should work just fine. We'll hit OK. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to array this hole about this surface. So I'm going up here, circular pattern. I'll select this feature right here. I'll give it something to rotate about. I can select. I have an option to say to select an axis, or I can just select the circle itself to create my revolution. So let's select this surface, the circle that is, and I'm going to go 8 equal spacings. And that's it. That's our part. So I can go ahead and I can hide those. Let's see. Hide that plane. There we go. Go section view. There you go. There we have it. That's our part. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll save that as example 1. Alright, let's go ahead and let's take a look at our next part. This next part, we got this wheel shape. So it looks like we probably do a couple revolves and then a couple extrusions, and then probably just array these spokes around the mid axis. So let's go ahead and let's give it a try. So I'm gonna go to sketch. I'm gonna select the front plane, and I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna create a center line to act as my axis of revolution. Hit point. So let's look at what I got. Let's start off with a corner. Let's see. What do I want? How do I want to make this? Let's go across. Let's do that. And then I want to grab the midpoint, make that vertical with it, and then I want to go 2 there, and I want to go 2.733 here. Okay, and I want thickness. Let's see. So it's width. No, I don't want that. So this is going to be not 0.5, 0.5 minus 0.075. So 0.5 minus 0.075 minus 0.075 equals. That's what I want my width to be. And I'm gonna just go ahead and I can go ahead and revolve that. But I can also go ahead and revolve this to create the outside of my wheel, and I can also create the internal part of the wheel as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone here, and do that. So I'll create another rectangle here. I'll grab the midpoint. Go vertical. And then I've got 0.5 here. And then I've got, let's see, I got diameter 0.25 in the middle. And then outer diameter 0.5. Okay, I think that's it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go features, revolve boss base. I'm gonna go ahead and revolve both of those. There we go. Pretty good. Let's see. What else should I make? Actually, I think I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself on that. So I'm gonna go back into there, into this sketch. Just looking at this drawing a little bit more closely, I think I should go ahead and create a cylindrical extrusion first, make the spokes, and then create the hull. I think that'd probably be best. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get rid of that real quick for now. Alright, so now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna create a sketch, and I'm gonna grab, let's see, which plane do I want? I want the right plane here. And I'm gonna create a circle of diameter 0.5 and extrusion mid plane of 0.5. I think that's what I want. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to create the spokes of this wheel. So sketch. Which plane do I want to use? I want to go ahead. I'm going to use this front plane here. I'm going to go normal to. And I'm going to create it right here. Let's see. What's the diameter of those spokes? Does it say? Yes, 0.25. 0.25. Okay, features, extrude boss base, and I'm going to go to up to surface. I'm going to go up to this surface. There we go. Looks good. Now I want to go ahead and I'm going to array this. So go to circular pattern, select this feature, and I'm going to revolve it around here. I want 6 of them. There we go. Looks nice. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fillet these outer radiuses here. So probably can just select, no, I don't want that. I want that edge. Probably just select this top surface here, and I can go 0.175. that should do it. Yep, that does it nicely. And now finally the hole in the center. That's 0.25. Okay, features, extrude cut. Let's see, and I'll go through all that. And there we have it. There's our wheel. We'll go ahead and we'll save that one. Too. And let's take a look at our next one. Okay, looks like we got this regulator body here. So it looks like this could be created. Let's see. All the walls are 0.15 thick. So probably I can do a revolve of this shape here, and then I could probably do a shell. I think a shell would work out fine as well. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a revolve of this surface, then create this hole, and then these two holes here, and then do a shell getting rid of all the surfaces. So let's go ahead and let's give it a try. Let's see what we can come up with. So File, New, Sketch, Front Plane. The other way. There we go. I'll start with a center line as per the usual. Okay. Now I've got, let's see what I got. It's gonna be I think probably just do a square revolve first. Start with that, and then probably just round these off after the fact. So let's do that. Let's give that a try. 0.5 there. I've got let's go across, up, across, and let's get rid of that. And then I've got, what else do I've got? 3.25 here. Okay. Let's see. This height I've got of 3. Okay. I want to go ahead and let's extend that line out. And then this height, what do I got? I got 0.25 here. Alright, let's go ahead and let's revolve that. Oops, I should probably close that off. Okay, features, revolve boss base. There we go. So now I want to go and fillet this. That should be 0.75. Okay. That looks right. Okay, good. Now let's go ahead and let's create the holes on the sides. So let's go ahead and let's create another sketch. Select the front plane. Go to normal 2. And let's start with the smaller one. So let's just create that here, and it's got a diameter of 0.75. and it looks like it's going to be 1.25 from the top. Okay, and it's going to be vertical with this. That should lock it in nicely. And so we'll go extrusion, and it's going to be total of 1.55. Okay, we'll start with that. Now let's create the other holes on the side. So sketch, we'll grab the other plane. So I should probably grab the right plane. And we'll create those. Vertical. And those are both 1 inch in diameter. Okay. And they're also going to be 1.25 from the top edge. Okay. Features extrusion, and that is going to be 1.75. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mirror about the right plane, and I'm going to mirror this feature across. There we go. Okay. So now it looks like I got this little boss on the bottom. Let's see here. It doesn't define it how high the extrusion is. It gives me a diameter, but I don't see this I don't have. So I'll just give it something. So we'll go normal to, it's 0.75. And I'll just give it something. Let's see what looks kind of right. So maybe 0.25 might be right. Yeah, that looks about right. So now I think I can go ahead and I can just shell everything out, and I think I'll be fine. So let's go ahead and let's go shell. All the wall thicknesses are 1.5, and this face to get rid of, I want to get rid of that face, that face, that face, that face, and probably this bottom face too. So let's click that one as well, and let's go for it. There we go. Oh, I didn't want that to go away. I didn't want that. So let's see. Let me think about this a little bit more. How do I go about correcting that problem? So let's go all the way back, and let's go back into our first revolve. Edit sketch. Let's put this in as a separate feature. So let's make this 2.5 as well. How do I do that? I created a problem. So let's delete this, and we'll make this and this collinear for now. Why is it doing that? I doing wrong? Get rid of that. Don't want that. Delete. Okay, let's merge these. Points cannot be merged. Okay. I think I've created myself a headache. Oh boy. 1.25. Let's see what happens there. I'm just gonna get rid of this. There we go. That fixes my problem. Okay, exit. Alright, now I can go ahead and I can go back in and go sketch, select this top surface. I'll go there, and I'll go out here. So I got a diameter of 3.25, and I got a diameter of 2.2 there. And now I think I can just extrude downwards 0.25. That should probably fix everything for me. The other way. There we go. That's what I want. So probably not the most graceful way of getting there, but we have our part now. So let's go ahead and let's save it. Let's take a look at our next one. So I got this flange fitting. So this one looks like it can be created by doing a simple revolve, and then we'll probably have to create a plane out in space for this right here. So let's go ahead and let's give it a try. New. Start with a sketch on the not the top plane. I want the top plane. Sketch on the front plane, and we'll start with a center line. Alright, so now we want to go, let's see, I want to do over, up, cross. No, I don't want it to be coincident, so I'm going to go ahead and drag that off. And across. Alright, so let's add in some other dimensions. I got 1.5 here. I got 2.8 here. I got 0.2 here. And let's see, what else do I have? I've got 2.75 here. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to revolve all of that. So revolve boss base. I gotta close it first. Always forget that. Okay. All of it just like that. Okay, and looks like I've got. It looks to be rounded off in there. Let's see. Do I have a dimension on that? Look at this a little bit more closely. Let's see, dimension there. I don't see a dimension called out there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just gonna make it something that I want it to be. Let's see what looks good. Let's go and do, let's see, 0.2. 0.2 looks good. We'll go with 0.2 for that. Alright, so now I got these holes on top. I can put those in. Create a sketch on the top. And I'm going to start with a... Actually, yeah, I don't need that. Let's go ahead and let's just create a center line out here. And let's put another center line here. And let's dimension this point, this point. That is 2.25. And the holes are all 0.25 as well. Go through all, and we'll just revolve that. And I want 6. That's what I want. Okay, looks good. And now I want to create this hole out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to sketch. I'm going to select this front plane right here. And I'm going to create a reference sketch, a reference line to create that plane. So it looks like I'm going to want a center line there, and I'm going to create a line that's just going to go out to here somewhere. So I've got 60-degree angle here, and it looks like it's going to be 1.5 here. Alright, I think I've got enough information. Yeah, I think I do. Let's see. Oh, no, I don't. I'm sorry. I need to give this height of 0.5, this point to here. There we go. It goes black now. Okay, so I'm going to jump out of here, and I'm going to go into Features, References, Plane, and I'm going to select this line and that point. I'll make it perpendicular. So perpendicular, yep, perpendicular line, going to the point. Alright, that's good, that's what I want. I'm going to create a sketch on this plane now. Go to normal 2. And I want to create it right on the center of this point. I don't think I got it. No, I didn't. So I'm going to grab the center. And I'll make it coincident. There we go. That's what I want. And this is 1 inch in diameter. Okay. And then I'm going to go Features, Extruded Boss. Let's go. Up to surface. Let's go up to this surface. That looks good. Okay. Alright, now I think I can go ahead and I can shell out everything to... So let's go shell. This is wall thickness 0.2 everywhere. So there, there, there. Let's see what that does. Yep, there we go. That looks good. Looks right. And looks like I got another fillet right around on this edge. So we'll make that 0.2 as well. There we go. There's our part. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this and we'll move on to the next one. So this was example 4. Let's take a look at our last part. So looks like a molded boot. This one doesn't look too bad either. So let's just go ahead and let's just give it a try. Let's see what we can come up with. Alright, so we'll go sketch. We're going to select this top plane here. And we'll start with a center rectangle. I'm going to give this dimension 4 and 3. Okay. And now I'm going to go features extruded boss. I want to go the other way. And it looks like it's going to be 1 and draft of 5 degrees inward. Okay, that looks like what I want. And I'm gonna go ahead and add these radiuses in later. Now it looks like I want to create a circle right in the middle of here. Circle, and I'm going to give it diameter of 1.5. Okay, extrude it. That looks to be, it's 1 as well. Alright, that looks good. And now it looks like I can go add in my fillets. So this is going to be 0.75. Okay, that looks to be all the ones that are 0.75. Alright, then I got some other ones. I got 0.25 here, all the way around. And then I'm going to go, I think it's actually, no, is it? 0.25 radius. Okay, I think that this radius is 0.2, but everything else is 0.25. Let's go ahead and just do that. So that's 0.25, and this is going to be 0.2. There we are. Here's our shape. Now we can just go ahead and shell it all out. So this is wall thickness of 0.05. Select this surface. Select this surface. And there we go. Actually, I think I might have made a mistake. I think this is also, yeah, it's supposed to be a draft as well. There we go. That's right. So that's our final part. So that's extra 5. So we've gone over a couple of different new features, how to create design tables, as well as increased our knowledge of reference planes and axes. So if you have any more questions, let me know. And thanks for listening. Have a good one. Bye-bye.